Continuing from the previous episode 950. Damn people of the Xiao clan, one person escaped from such a fortified place in the center of the human world. It seems that if the Xiao clan is not eradicated, we will have no peace for a day. Beneath a dead tree in the forest of death, a man with an eagle face in gorgeous clothes couldn't help saying, "The world lord of the human world is really a lunatic. It's not good to provoke anyone, but he has to provoke the Xiao clan." Although the Xiao clan has offended many people in the entire Great Thousand World, at the same time they have also captured the trust of many powerful people. If they knew the plans of those guys in the center of the human world, they would probably do whatever it takes to destroy the human world. Those guys in the center are going to perish. But forget it, things at that level are obviously not something I can imagine. It's better to arrest Xiao Mu and go back. The man slowly muttered to himself for a while, and then the gray energy radiated from his body, and he stepped directly above the forest of death. "Xiao Mu, you are already in a state where the lamp is running out of oil, so let's go and capture it. Maybe I will look at the level of the World Master and spare you not to die." The man spoke slowly, but the voice was mixed with extremely strong energy. Fluctuation, this kind of fluctuation, is clearly something that only the strong immortals can have. Just a lackey at the center of the human world. If I was at the peak of Xiao Mu, it would make no difference to kill you like stepping on an ant. As soon as the hawk-faced man's voice fell, a voice appeared in the dense forest of death below, responding to the man. The eagle-faced man was overjoyed when he heard the words. The provocation just now was naturally to attract Xiao Mu to speak up, and now that the source of this voice was found, he could naturally be found. "Humph, you're still stubborn when you're about to die. When I catch you, I will let you know what pain is." The hawk-faced man's face was a little awkward. Although Xiao Mu's voice was found, the strange thing was that the voice came from all directions in the forest, so Eagle Mouth also underestimated Xiao Mu's ability and vigilance. And what Xiao Mu said was true. If he was at his peak, dealing with him would be like stepping on an ant to death. However, I don't know what method the superpowers in the center of the human world used to make the people of the Xiao family drop in strength, so the eagle-faced man is naturally not afraid. Death to the immortal. The eagle-faced man waved his palm directly, and a gray palm with a size of 100 meters appeared out of nowhere, and then attacked the forest of death below with an extremely harsh sound of breaking wind. Wanting to destroy this forest, Xiao Mu has nowhere to hide. Boom boom boom. The huge gray palm just appeared, and the eagle-faced man took it directly, but there was no restlessness. Anyway, the energy that was enough to destroy everything disappeared suddenly when it attacked the forest of death. That kind of feeling is extremely strange, as if one's own power was swallowed up by the forest of death. This place is a bit weird. Originally, the mark on Xiao Mu's body is extremely vague. In addition to the strangeness of this place, if he escapes, I am afraid that this time, the only way to apologize is to die. The eagle-faced man couldn't help but said. He knew very well that once Xiao Mu escaped completely, when he regained his strength and found allies of their Xiao clan, I am afraid that the only thing waiting for them in the center of the human world would be destruction. Before they came out, the old guys in the center of the human world had instructed them to only succeed and not fail. A chill flashed in his heart, and then he didn't dare to hesitate, swept down directly, and searched for Xiao Mu with a trace of silk marks. Cough cough. I'm afraid I can't handle this guy's current strength. The figure hidden in the dense wood of the forest of death coughed violently, and a mouthful of blood spurted out. If Xiao Yan was here, then he would definitely find out that this figure is Xiao Mu. This forest of death is the battle point between Xuanchen and the Blood River continent of the Ghost Realm. Naturally, it is a bit strange, but if Xiao Mu hadn't made the attack of the hawk-faced man disappear, I am afraid that he would have been in the bag at this time. I have already passed the coordinates of this place to the Golden Dragon King. I don't know if it will be successful this time. Xiao Mu couldn't help but said while looking at the dim sky. For their Xiao clan, the Golden Dragon King is a crucial ally, and that relationship is more affectionate than Jin Jian. However, the Golden Dragon King was seriously injured by the foreign evil clan at the beginning, and was chased and killed by some foreign evil clan's minions. I don't know how his strength has recovered now. Xiao Mu finished speaking, forcibly suppressed the injury in his body and the special imprint, just start walking. He must persist until the Golden Dragon King arrives. Otherwise, the fact that their Xiao clan was imprisoned by the strongest people in the center of the human world will eventually be completely covered in dust. Xiao Mu was able to escape this time, but it cost almost all the powerhouses of their Xiao clan, so naturally it was impossible to give up like this. Master, this mountain range is so weird. On the other side, outside the Forest of Death, Xiao Yan's voice sounded slowly. This is the Forest of Death, the battleground between humans and ghosts. There are countless bones and ghosts of strong human beings left, so it is natural. The Golden Dragon King floated directly in front of Xiao Yan at this time, and then looked solemnly at the man in front of him. Huge dark mountains. One of the ancestors of our Xiao clan is here? Xiao Zan on the side asked. It stands to reason that if there are members of their Xiao clan here, then there will definitely be a surge of blood. Xiao Zan didn't feel any fluctuations in his blood, so he couldn't help but ask, is really here? As for the two of you not feeling the bloodline fluctuations, this may be related to your fallen Do Di bloodline. And the person being hunted down, in order to prevent his position from being exposed, he naturally tried his best to hide it, said the Golden Dragon King. Go! I feel his position. The Golden Dragon King's dragon eyes suddenly swept away at a certain place in the mountain range, with a speed that was staggering. Xiao Yan and Xiao Zan heard the words, looked at each other. Their vigilance was raised to the limit, and they followed. Hoo. Just after entering the Forest of Death, a gloomy ghostly energy suddenly rushed towards Xiao Zan. Ancestor, are you all right? Seeing this, Xiao Yan hurriedly wrapped his body with holy flame. It's all right, Xiao Zan said in a deep voice, and then opened his mouth, but Xiao Zan still underestimated the horror of this ghost. Ghost energy is like ice cubes, eerie, invading people's minds, be careful. The Golden Dragon King walked ahead and said. Yes. Xiao Yan and Xiao Zan both agreed. Hide your breath. I feel that the Xiao clan member is not far ahead. And besides that, there is a powerful strong man. The aura emanating from the strong man is clearly a bad visitor. The Golden Dragon King said vigilantly. The next moment, Xiao Yan and Xiao Zan flashed a hint of chill at the same time, then concealed their breath and followed. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 951. This beast has such a high level of concealment? On the other side, the hawk-faced man searched the Forest of Death, but did not find Xiao Mu, but with his perception and special marks, Xiao Mu was clearly still in the Forest of Death. The eagle-faced man was surprised that every time Xiao Mu was about to find him, he would always be cleverly avoided by him. Oh, someone is coming. I hope I can help me find him with these few humans. The eagle-faced man said, and then the aura around his body suddenly dropped, and in a short time he reached the level of a 7-star fighting emperor. Damn it, it was discovered. The Golden Dragon King found the eagle-faced man immediately, and then cursed secretly. Little Yanzi, act as soon as possible. Before you find your clan, remember not to act rashly. After the Golden Dragon King finished speaking, he poured directly into the collection ring. At this time, Xiao Yan's face also turned gloomy. Hee, two little brothers. Just as the Golden Dragon King disappeared, an eagle-faced man suddenly appeared beside Xiao Yan and Xiao Zan. Your Excellency, is there something wrong? Xiao Yan and Xiao Zan are also veterans, so they naturally said calmly, without any other signs of fear. This Forest of Death is full of dangers. I don't know why the two of you came in. The eagle-faced man said with a smile. Xiao Mu's matter can be extremely important. It must be confirmed that these two people came by luck, otherwise, if these two people came to rescue Xiao Mu, it would disturb his plan. However, the eagle-faced man was thinking the next moment, the strength of these two people, one is a 6-star Do Emperor, and the other is a 7-star Do Emperor. If they come to rescue Xiao Mu, it is undoubtedly impossible. The two of us came in to hunt down some magical beasts and sell them for money, why? Xiao Zan stood up and said to the hawk-faced man. With their perception and the words of the Golden Dragon King just now, Xiao Zan and Xiao Yan both knew that the figure in front of them should be the murderer who hunted down their Xiao clan. That's it, I happen to have a deal here. I wonder if you two are interested? The hawk-faced man said slowly. What business, let's hear it. Xiao Zan stopped Xiao Yan and said. Those who can enter the Forest of Death are naturally ruthless people by nature, so for the sake of sufficient profit, they even don't hesitate to fight. Otherwise, with the strength of the hawk-faced man, killing the two of Xiaoyan would not be like pinching an ant to death. I tracked a monster in the forest of death for a long time. I seriously injured it a few days ago, but he fled into the depths of the forest, so I couldn't find it after searching for a long time. If the two of you are willing to help me find the magical beast, just mention it at any cost. The eagle-faced man smiled and stared at Xiaoyan and Xiaoyan. Is that so? Let's think about it. Xiao Zhan spoke slowly, then pulled Xiaoyan aside and whispered something. I hope the two of you don't disappoint me, otherwise, there is no difference between killing you and killing you. The eagle-faced man seemed to have the chance to win, and did not take Xiaoyan and Xiaoyan seriously. After all, the difference in strength between the two was too great. Huge. Ancestor, this guy should be the one who hunted down our Xiao clan. I felt a terrifying aura from him, that kind of aura, I am afraid that only Do Xian has it. Xiaoyan said in a low voice. The monster he just mentioned should be from our Xiao clan. We will count on it, like this. When Xiao Zhan heard the words, he nodded his head and made plans. Hey, boy, have you discussed it? If you two don't do such a good deal, I'll find someone else. The hawk-faced man said. Do it, why not do it? It's been a long time since it opened, I'm definitely going to do it. Xiao Zhan said with a smile. That's fine, come on, this mark, you can find it with this thing. We'll be looking for each other in 3 separate ways. As for the reward, after the event is completed, you will be indispensable. After the hawk-faced man finished speaking, a red light slowly appeared on the palms of Xiaoyan and the two of them. Okay. Xiao Zhan and Xiaoyan took the red light seal and swept aside. Is it an illusion? I always feel that something is wrong with these two boys. Hawkface watched the two men leave, and then spoke slightly. However, at this time, he couldn't care less, so he had to rely on the two to find Xiao Mu first. Xiao Mu was too sensitive to his own breath, so the hawk-faced man came up with this solution. Moreover, the eagle-faced man had already planned it. After finding Xiao Mu, the two men would inevitably die. This light mark. It really is the taste of our Xiao family. Xiaoyan and Xiao Zhan were separated, but they still kept in touch. The red light seal slowly flowed on Xiaoyan's palm. This light seal was formed by the hawk-faced man condensing a trace of the Xiao clan's aura. If it wasn't for Xiaoyan who originally possessed the Xiao clan's breath, he would definitely have identified it as an ordinary light seal. But fortunately Xiaoyan found it. I didn't expect that the one who chased and killed your Xiao clansman was actually the law enforcer in the center of the human world. It looks like a big fish. The voice of the Golden Dragon King sounded slowly in Xiaoyan's mind at this time. The center of the human world? Xiaoyan couldn't help asking. These things are too far away for you. However, I can also tell you that the center of the human world is the gathering point of the most powerful people in the entire human world. Perhaps the fall of your Xiao family Btth blood and the disappearance of your race have something to do with them, Golden Dragon King said very cautiously. Then what is the human world law enforcer? Xiaoyan still wondered. The center of the human world is the gathering point of the strongest. In that place, it is the maker and executor of the rules of the human world. For some humans who trigger the rules or resist, the human center will send strong men to encircle and suppress them. Those who are strong are called enforcers of the human world. However, the ones with the lowest strength are the immortal fighters, and because they live in the center of the human world, their strength is much more tyrannical than the average fighter immortals. The Golden Dragon King said slowly. Damn, it's actually so strong. Xiaoyan couldn't help but cursed secretly after hearing this. Don't worry, although this guy is not weak, he hasn't reached the level that I am now. The Golden Dragon King comforted him. Yes. Xiaoyan agreed, and then he used his blood and red light seal to carefully search for the people of their Xiao clan. The eagle-faced man is the law enforcer in the human world. He wants to find Xiao Mu through Xiaoyan and the two and kill them all, but the purpose of Xiaoyan and the two is to find Xiao Mu and then kill the law enforcer in the human world. It can be said that they use each other. Squeaky. In the dense forest of the forest of death, a man in commoner slowly sensed somewhere in the forest. Are they here? The man was sticking a tree, and the scars of different sizes on his body were extremely conspicuous. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 952. Jew. Because the forest of death is full of ghosts, the ordinary beasts are contaminated with some evil spirits. Is it a leopard at the 6th rank of the Emperor? Xiao Yan didn't care too much when he saw the figure of the monster that swept away. The strength of this beast is comparable to that of a human 6-star Do Emperor, but he is naturally not afraid of Xiao Yan's time as a 7-star Do Emperor. No, it stands to reason that the position that Guangyan gave me should be here. Xiao Yan followed Guangyan and walked around all the way, looking for the position of the Xiao clan members. Xiao Yan. Not long after, when Xiao Yan was confused, Xiao Zhan also returned without success. Ancestor, is there any trace? Xiao Yan asked tentatively. No, I didn't find it with that light seal. Xiao Zhan said with a wave of his hands. With the increase of time, Xiao Zhan also became familiar with the body, and the strength of the 6-star Do Emperor level was also mastered. After all, Xiao Zhan was very talented, and it was only a matter of time before he wanted to do this. This forest of death is too large, and my soul power can't cover it all. Xiao Yan hesitated and then spoke. Xiao Yan's current soul power is strong, but the area of the forest of death is too huge, so it can't cover everything. Since that's the case, that's the only way to do it. Xiao Yan said solemnly, then he let go of the light seal given by the hawk-faced man, and suddenly lifted into the air, and immediately exploded. Crash! A piercing sound rang out, and immediately in the forest of death, many beasts were shocked by Xiao Yan's actions. These two guys are really brave. Even if Xiao Mu is already injured, he can kill the 2 7-star Do Emperors instantly. But I have to say, this method should be quite effective. After the eagle-faced man finished speaking, his figure suddenly became illusory, perfectly hiding his breath. That is, our Xiao clan's breath? On the other side, the man in the walking clothes said slowly, then looked at the place where he had just left with surprise. Where, a group of bright rays of light suddenly burst out. In that rays of light, Xiao Mu clearly smelled a trace of their Xiao clan's breath. That kind of aura can only be possessed by people from the Xiao clan, and other foreigners cannot imitate it. Could it be that the Golden Dragon King found other members of our Xiao clan? But that's not right. The strong people in the Xiao family have already been imprisoned by the World Master of the human world. How could it be? No, I have to go and have a look. After Xiao Mu finished speaking, he forcibly supported the injury in his body, and then walked towards the place where Xiao and the others were. No movement? Xiao Yan looked at the bright group of light in the sky, and then said to himself slightly. At this time, the light group in the sky not only had the mark given to Xiao Yan by the eagle-faced man, but also was added by Xiao Yan to some things that only the Xiao people could sense, but even so, there was no movement. You people from the Xiao family and the law enforcer are rushing here. After your Xiao clan people come, don't rush to recognize him, let them fight for a while. At this time, the Golden Dragon King said in Xiao Yan's mind. Quote. Xiao Yan heard the words, and his head was immediately covered with black lines. The people who promised to save the Xiao clan, when the situation is in dire straits, let them fight for a while. However, Xiao Yan also knew that when his uncle said so, he must have his own way, so he stopped talking immediately. Two friends. Just when Xiao Yan was ready to fall on a rock, a cold voice sounded in their ears. When the sound just appeared, the whole space suddenly became restless, and the temperature dropped significantly, obviously for no reason. Boom, boom, boom. And this voice just appeared, before seeing the figure, suddenly within Xiao Yan, Huoxin Tianyan and Sheng Yanjing rioted at the same time, a terrifying riot that was about to come out instantly. Calm me down. Xiao Yan sensed that this was the first time this happened in his body. He couldn't help but scolded secretly, and immediately urged Fen Zhu, a steady stream of suppressing force, trying to suppress Sheng Yan's sudden agitation. Clam down, Your Excellency. On the other side, Xiao Zhan is currently watching his surroundings vigilantly. Obviously this voice gave him an extremely tyrannical sense of danger. Did you send the signal just now? Xiao Mu, who was dressed in commoner clothes, took a step forward before exposing himself to the two of them. Although the visitor has a lot of shocking injuries, big and small, the extraordinary aura between his brows is hard to hide, and his whole body reveals an immortal appearance, which is quite well proportioned. But there was one thing that surprised Xiao Yan the most. Because this person is very similar to himself, no matter in body or facial features, the only difference is the edges and corners. Xiao Yan's edges and corners are full of killing intent, and this person's edges and corners are full of tenderness. Plop. As soon as Xiao Zhan and Xiao Yan saw Xiao Mu, they immediately felt that their blood was connected, but the three of them were also very human. Their eyes changed immediately, and they started acting immediately. Exactly. You hungry man. Still don't take out other people's demons. Others worked so hard to kill the beasts, but in the end they made you cheaper. Xiao Zhan said calmly, obviously already very skilled in acting. These two guys. It seems to be just ordinary people. Never mind. Let this ordinary person see the battle of the strong immortals. If no one is watching a battle, it will be very boring. And under a big tree not far from the rock, the voice of the eagle-faced man also sounded slowly. Xiao Mu, I didn't expect you to show up. A smiling voice appeared slowly. Damn it. When Xiao Mu heard the words, his face changed greatly, and he ran away directly into the distance. On the way to escape, I didn't forget to slap Xiao Yan and the two friends. Thank you for helping me find this person. After the work is completed, the reward will naturally be indispensable to the two of you. Please wait for a while for me to capture this guy. The eagle-faced man waved his hand, and immediately Xiao Mu's attack fell apart. Want to run? How can it be so easy? After the eagle-faced man finished speaking, his figure turned into a black shadow, and shot towards Xiao Mu under the cover of this dark forest of death. Sure enough, Xiao Yan and Xiao Zhan couldn't help but say something in their hearts. The three of them are relatively connected by blood, and they have already communicated a lot of problems just by looking at each other, which is why the current scene is created. Uncle Shi, when will we take action? Xiao Yan couldn't help but ask. No hurry, although Xiao Mu is not in a good state at this time, it is still possible to deal with the law enforcers. We must wait for an opportunity to kill with one hit, otherwise this guy will run away, and there will be endless troubles. The Golden Dragon King said. Yes. Xiao Yan and Xiao Zhan both waited on the spot. Xiao Mu, this name seems a little familiar to you. Have you heard it somewhere? Xiao Yan said slightly while suppressing the restlessness of the fire heart Tianyan in his body. I have a cold, and I feel very aggrieved. I don't know if I can make 4 shifts today. I will try my best. When the cold is cured, it will break out in the coming year. Everyone remember to wear more clothes one day sleepy to death. Oh, happy New Year's Eve everyone. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 953. Bastard. Xiao Mu scolded while running away, but he was overjoyed. Just seeing Xiao Yan's first glance, Xiao Mu felt the breath of the Golden Dragon King from Xiao Yan's body. Although he did not know why the Golden Dragon King was living in someone else's body, Xiao Mu knew that the Golden Dragon King was here. How strong is the Golden Dragon King? Even Xiao Mu doesn't know about this, but the only thing Xiao Mu knows is that the Golden Dragon King at his peak was invincible in a fierce battle with a fighting asterisk in their Xiao clan. I have to delay for a while. The Golden Dragon King probably hasn't regained his strength yet. He must be sure to kill with one blow, otherwise he will be fled by the wind shock. I'm afraid things will be more troublesome. Xiao Mu made up his mind and immediately stopped running away. Run? Xiao Mu, you're finally tired after running for so long? The eagle-faced man stared at Xiao Mu with a smile on his face and said. The hawk-faced man is the human world law enforcer Feng Zhen, who is in charge of chasing down Xiao Mu, the strength in the early stage of Samsung Do Xian. Your lackey in the human world is really like a headless fly. Xiao Mu said with a calm expression. Humph, whatever you say, follow me back to the human world to end the sanctions? Feng Zhen said lightly, do you think it's possible? The dirty things you do in the human world are really disgusting. Xiao Mu said disdainfully, since ancient times, winners and losers have been defeated, and the losers are not qualified to comment on these things. Feng Zhen was disapproving of Xiao Mu's words. Just a bunch of hypocrites. Sooner or later, the center of your human world will be completely overthrown. Xiao Mu said coldly, so, you don't plan to go back with me? Feng Zhen still couldn't help asking. I know what to ask, look at the trick. Xiao Mu said, and after speaking, he slapped his palm against Feng Zhen, and a burst of red dazzling energy suddenly popped out of his palm. The World Master has an order, if you don't go back to you, then apologize with death. It happened to be suppressed by your Xiao clan at the beginning, and the anger in my heart is nowhere to be released. After Feng Zhen finished speaking, the corner of his mouth burst into a smile. The smile turned into a gloomy aura because it was too weird. Wild Feng Yao. As soon as Feng Zhen's voice fell, a dazzling giant storm formed directly on his body. Xiao Mu, when you Xiao family trampled our Feng family underfoot, after so many years, I can finally take revenge. Go to hell. Feng Zhen's hideous face also had a hint of madness, and then the dazzling silver storm directly hit Xiao Mu. Feng family? A small force that is not in the mainstream, but also delusionally compares with our Xiao clan? The glory of the Xiao clan. How can someone like you be able to figure it out at will? Huoqi kill. After Xiao Mu finished speaking, the dazzling flame energy suddenly turned into a huge unicorn beast, and then jumped directly into the storm. Boom! The terrifying hurricane is mixed with the power to destroy everything, but it is strange that although the destructive power of the hurricane is extremely terrifying, after Xiao Mu's flaming beast leaps forward, the aura actually weakens rapidly. Break me! A cold snort came out of Xiao Mu's mouth, and then the silver hurricane in front of the two of them slowly dissipated at a speed visible to the naked eye. Xiao Mu, don't be too happy. Feng Zhen seemed to have expected Xiao Mu's tyranny, and then he didn't pay too much attention to his hurricane, but just after the hurricane was destroyed, the palm of his hand flickered lightly. The power of the silver wind also flashed a massive silver power under the feet, increasing its speed to a terrifying level. The attack just now is just to consume your fighting spirit. I am a 3-star Do Xian now, and you have the strength of a 2-star Do Xian, and the power of Do Xian is still severely depleted. How can you fight me? Feng Zhen said, and then he directly attacked Xiao Mu. Every joint of hands, feet, fists, and fists became Feng Zhen's strongest attacking means. With his speed and the power of fighting immortals, he was vaguely overwhelming. Damn, it won't last long like this. Golden Dragon King, I still have to rely on you. Xiao Mu struggled to support. In order not to be directly defeated by Feng Zhen, he could only say secretly. Xiao Mu's peak strength may be 4-star Do Xian or even stronger, but Sheng Yan's voluntary deprivation was placed in Zan Santient to suppress foreign evil races, and in addition, the human world realm master planted suppression in their bodies, the power of blood and the mysterious thing of strength, so Xiao Mu's strength at this time is only about the level of the early stage of the 2-star Do Xian, so it is naturally extremely difficult to deal with the wind shock of the 3-star Do Xian. Uncle Shi, that senior seems to be a little out of the question. Xiao Yan and Xiao Zan were directly put aside by the hawk-faced man Feng Zhen. I know, Xiao Mu's strength should be too strong to be suppressed, so he is not this guy's opponent. Otherwise, Xiao Mu would be able to defeat such a 3-star fighting immortal within 3 rounds. Uncle Golden Dragon King nodded and said, "What should we do next?" Xiao Yan asked. "Watch it change. If you don't make a move, it's done. Once you make a move, this law enforcer will die." The Golden Dragon King said word by word, but the shocking killing intent in his voice was no longer hidden. "Little Yanzi, next, you will give me the control of your body." After a while, the Golden Dragon King said something. Yes, Xiao Yan naturally knew that in these battles at this level, he would definitely have nothing to do with him. Immediately, his soul power was withdrawn, and he handed over the control of his body to his uncle, the Golden Dragon King. At the same time, Xiao Zan on the side of suddenly discovered that in front of Xiao Yan, a powerful force that ordinary people could not see through was slowly recovering. That feeling was not as deep as the abyss of radiation protection. Bottom out. This guy is very good on the Do Chi continent. Coming here, I'm afraid that we still need him to solve these secrets of our Xiao family. Xiao Zan finished speaking, not in a deep voice, directly watching the battle in the sky. The 2-star fighting immortal is complete. This is a bit tricky. After a while, the Golden Dragon King, who was controlling Xiao Yan's body, muttered to himself. Now, his strength may reach the level of a 3-star fighting fairy, but living in Xiao Yan's body, even if he controls his body, his strength will directly explode to the level of a 2-star fighting fairy. Xiao Yan's physical quality is indeed comparable to that of the Golden Dragon King. The bodies are fundamentally different. Forget it. I can't be too reluctant. The limit energy of this kid's body is the perfection of the 2-star Do Xian. If it increases, I am afraid it will affect him. These levels of bodies, in the human world, can already be regarded as true fitness geniuses, but for our dragon race, they are still not enough. Remember to seize the time to practice the 9 transformations of the Dragon God later. It can increase the tyranny of your body. The Golden Dragon King carved seal said to Xiao Yan. As soon as the words fell, the Golden Dragon King and Xiao Yan both fell silent, staring at the battle between Xiao Mu and Feng Zhen. I'm coding the third update, end of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 954. Xiao Mu, it looks like you've run out of light. At the beginning, the grievances of your Xiao family against our Feng family should be returned together today. After a while, Feng Zhen floated directly in the air of the Forest of Death, and his whole body flashed with unusually dazzling silver light. This silver light is the power of Feng Zhen's fighting immortals, and the power of fighting immortals of the wind attribute, whether it is speed or power, is extremely terrifying. Your power of fighting immortals with the wind attribute is really good. Xiao Mu wiped a few drops of blood from the corners of his mouth and then spoke. The brief confrontation just now has caused Xiao Mu to be at a deadlock. After all, Xiao Mu has been chased by Feng Zhen since he escaped from the center of the human world. He suffered a lot of injuries along the way, and his strength was naturally greatly reduced. Xiao Mu, you are going to die today. Feng Zhen smiled brightly at the corner of his mouth. A burst of piercing wind sound was born directly from Feng Zhen's body. At the same time, the ghost energy in the midair of the Forest of Death quickly subsided, obviously because of the fear of the power of Feng Zhen. Samsung Dushan's full blow. Golden Dragon King, if you don't do anything, I'm afraid I will fall here. Xiao Mu Junsho's face could not help but show a hint of panic. Obviously the power Feng Zhen used at this time was too powerful for him. Ha ha ha. Xiao Mu, go to hell. A huge spear made up of countless silver wind attribute fighting immortal powers suddenly swept towards Xiao Mu. Wherever it passed, there were no vegetation or trees, and even the space emitted extremely harsh sounds. Collapse. Boom boom boom. The terrifying attack hit Xiao Mu directly, and even if Xiao Mu tried his best, he could barely stop the pace of the energy spear attack, but his breath gradually weakened. After all, he had already not at its peak. This kind of attack is very difficult for me. The famous Xiao Mu also has today. Break me. Feng Zhen looked at Xiao Mu, whose strength was gradually weakening, and laughed suddenly. And just as Feng Zhen's voice fell, the huge energy spear instantly shrank, and then suddenly exploded in front of Xiao Mu. That kind of terrifying attack could seriously injure Xiao Mu in an instant. Dragon God Claw. Just when Feng Zhen was complacent, an angry voice resounded in the air. Crash! The energy spear of Feng Zhen was about to explode, but it was tightly squeezed by a giant golden hand. After a few breaths, the terrifying fluctuations produced by the energy spear had not yet had time to erupt, and it shattered with a bang. It's finally out. However, this guy's body makes me feel familiar. Xiao Mu coughed violently, then looked at the figure wrapped in golden light in the sky, and said earnestly, "Who is it?" When the golden figure just appeared, Feng Zhen's pupils immediately became vigilant. Because of his perception, he knew that this person was also a powerful person. The actions of the human world law enforcers are really disgusting. Xiao Yan, wrapped in golden light, dispelled Feng Zhen's attack, and said softly, "This golden Xiao Yan is the Xiao Yan controlled by the Golden Dragon King, and Xiao Yan is entrenched in his soul realm. The golden light is like an eternal rock, indestructible. You kid, courting death?" When Yu Bo dispersed, Feng Zhen found that the person who came was one of the two people who had just come. He couldn't help but let out a loud shout, and then slapped Xiao Yan with his palm viciously, a terrifying strong wind. It poured out, trying to kill with one hit. Humph! Golden Xiao Yan snorted coldly, but Feng Zhen's seemingly powerful attack, when it hit the golden light on Xiao Yan's body, was resolved out of thin air, which is quite strange. This is the power of the 9 transformations of the Dragon God. Golden Xiao Yan murmured, "Uncle's power is really terrifying." Xiao Yan couldn't help but be surprised when he heard what his uncle said at this time. The attack of the level just now was probably enough to kill a 2-star fighting fairy, but his uncle could not help but be surprised. With the power of the 9 transformations of the Dragon God, he was able to fight directly and easily, which made Xiao Yan couldn't help but look forward to the 9 transformations of the Dragon God. Damn, who the asterisk are you guys? At this time, Feng Zhen's expression also became a little panicked, and he shouted at the Golden Xiao Yan. "Who are we, don't you know?" Golden Xiao Yan said coldly, and his voice was full of shocking chills. A person from the Xiao clan? Impossible. The strong people of the Xiao family have been suppressed and sealed by us. How can there be no remnants of the Xiao family? Feng Zhen said in surprise, and then said decisively, Golden Dragon King, don't talk nonsense with him, join forces as soon as possible. Xiao Mu said directly. Just after he finished speaking, he swallowed a few pills, and then directly followed Golden Xiaoyan to surround him. Xiao Mu, it seems that the Realm Master is right. You people from the Xiao family can't be kept. Feng Zhen looked at Xiao Mu with resentment, obviously blaming himself for his complacency just now. You are arrogant and arrogant, you can't run away in terror today. Xiao Mu also said plainly, with his teamwork with the Golden Dragon King, even if Feng Zhen's strength reached the 3-star Do Xian, he would still be unable to run today. Joke. I think it's you who can't escape, right? Xiao Mu, your current strength is only in the early stage of the 2-star Do Xian, and although this guy's strength is extremely mysterious, but now it is only a 2-star Do Xian. Complete the gap between the 2-star Do Xian and the 3-star Do Xian. I'm afraid you know better than me. Feng Zhen looked at the two strong men in front of him and immediately became alert, but he had no idea of running away. After all, Xiao Mu has been solved. If he is dealing with this accomplice who came to save Xiao Mu, then the World Master will definitely reward him, and maybe this reward can force him to improve his strength by 1 star. But if Feng Zhen knew about it, he is now facing the words of the King of the Dragon Clan, the Golden Dragon King. I am afraid that he would not dare to have such an idea even if he was given 100 courage. But he didn't know. It seems to be underestimated. The Golden Dragon King also seemed to have noticed Feng Zhen's thoughts, and said slightly, Golden Dragon King, your current strength is only a 2-star Do Xian consummation? Xiao Mu asked the Golden Xiaoyan beside him. Golden Xiaoyan was silent. It's troublesome now. This wind shakes the strength of Samsung Do Xian, and he is also the best among law enforcers in the human world. Xiao Mu couldn't help but look solemn. Don't worry, this little trash fish can't make much of a difference. Golden Xiaoyan said slowly. Go! Golden Xiaoyan said, and then the golden light surged around his body, instantly wrapping his entire body. At that time, the shocking battle between the Golden Dragon King and Xiao Mu against the enforcers of the human world will slowly surge in the desolate forest of death. There is one more update, and I can also update the 4th update today, but I have a serious cold and the plot is not well written. Please forgive me, I will reply to the 2nd update tomorrow on New Year's Day. End of this chapter.